Alrighty, folks. Well, welcome back to another episode of a Fighting Words podcast for two dads just talking about the UFC. I'm joined by my co-host Tyrell Payton. Again, we're talking UFC pay-per-view 309. How are you feeling?
It's time for the Blessed Express, baby. It's time for the Blessed Express. I've
Choo
been waiting for
choo.
this. Oh my goodness. I've been looking forward to this for months. It's time to
I'm
go.
I'm excited. I've been nervous all week already. Like I feel like I've gotten like secondhand nervousness for you. So yeah, that's just how I feel about it. But
I'm not
I'm
gonna be
excited.
nervous until that night. I mean, until that evening, I should say, because it'll be
Yeah,
evening time.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's a great card. It's one of the best cards this year. I mean, obviously with UFC 300 being there, but like this one is definitely much better than any of the past. I think couple cards we've had. So I'm
yeah.
excited, man. I'm excited to talk about all the fights for all the watchers, for all the listeners who are tuning into the pod. Before you go anywhere, before you do anything else, subscribe, like the video, share it with a friend. I'm trying to get out there. We see you
That's
guys
right.
interacting. We see you guys engaging with the other episodes on the podcast. Continue to do so. And as always, if you have tuned in for many times or just the one time, I'll give you guys a quick breakdown how we talk through fight cards for UFC pay-per-views. We're going to always start with the main event first, and then we'll share our picks throughout. And then we always like to do a reaction pod the week after, talking about just exactly how it all shook out, see who was the card pick winner and the card pick loser, and then we usually make fun of each other. Tyrell's been on a hot streak lately, so
It's usually me, but
yeah, okay, that's all right, man.
we need like a belt. We need like a belt we can
We
like
do, yeah.
pass around for who does it
I
well.
like that. I like that.
We need to get a
Okay,
belt by the end of the year.
yeah. Hey, viewers, let us know what we should be doing. Should it be a yearly thing? Should we be keeping a tally? Should it be a pay-per-view belt that we pass around? Let us know in the comments what you guys want to see. So,
Yeah.
anyways, to kick off, well, I guess not to kick off, for the main event of the evening, we've got UFC 309. The featherweight championship is on the line. Newly minted Ilya Topuria defends his title against good old Blessed Express, Max Holloway. I think longtime viewers of the pod will probably know our picks for this, but it's not with some trepidation, at least on my side. No spoilers here. I guess I'm not. I guess spoilers. I'm not going to hide anything. I'm picking Max. I think styles make fights, and this is a fantastic stylistic fight. I don't think we're going to see a lot of ground. Uh, I don't think we're going to see a lot of takedown. I don't think we're going to see a lot of like any sort of like submission attempts. I mean, if there is, okay, cool. I would highly doubt it at this point because I think both men are willing to, exchange in the pocket and exchange in the middle of the cage if they have to. Yeah, I just think Max does everything that Ilya does just a little bit better. I think that it'll be interesting to see how he responds to leg kicks. I think it'll be interesting to see how he handles the pressure fighting that is Ilya Topuria and if he out pressures him. We saw that was pretty masterclass when he beat Justin Gaethje. I mean, the dude literally handled him for 5 full rounds on his back pedal and pieced him up the entire time. I don't see how Max really. I don't see how this fight goes any differently for him. If anything, I'll even be bold to say it. It's probably even an easier fight than Justin Gaethje, for the simple fact that this dude can be kept at range a bit more than Justin could. We're talking about the same size guys when it entered in the cage on the BMF title fight. And there's going to be a lot of people tuning in, and I think Max always lives up to the occasion. And I think we have yet to see kind of Ilya when the lights shine down. Yes, he had that great moment against Volk, but as a Volk fan, I'm thinking it's more of an asterisk than a permanence there. And I think we're entering in the blessed era, just with all the skills, with all the weapons that Max has, and what he can nullify with Ilya. I just don't see how the result can be seeing Max getting his hand raised. I don't know if it's knockout. I don't know if it's TKO. I don't know if it's a submission or what have you, or even a decision. But I do think that Max gets out there, shows us why he's been the legacy in the featherweight division, and gets his belt back after what? It's been like 5 years since he's touched gold, something like that. I think, yeah, 5. It was 2019 when he last had it. So, yeah, I'm going Max Blessed Holloway. How are you feeling about the fight? What's your picks, man?
Well, like Ian mentioned, if you're a long time listener and supporter of the pod, you probably remember me saying that if Max somehow gets knocked out in this fight, I will be done. That still stands. that
He's
still
holding true.
stands.
We
Like
discussed it this weekend. It's
I want you
verified.
guys to know, I'm putting it in frame right now. Listen, if it happens, it's been real. I'm gonna need a long time off. I don't think I can handle that. I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna happen. But if it does, oof, I don't even drink alcohol, but who knows what'll happen? Like if
Thoughts
that
and prayers.
happens. Oh my gosh. But I kind of agree with Ian here. I just think that Ilya Taporia hasn't seen this level of competition. Yes, he beat Volk. I do think that's more of an outlier than more of what we're actually going to see. Max Holloway has dog walked everybody in this division. So everybody that was leading up to become a contender to fight Alexander Volkanovski, who Max could not beat at the time, he dog walked all of them. And Ilya Taporia somehow avoided getting thrown in that fight. For whatever reason, he never got thrown to Max. And he's been protected. And yeah, he beat. It was a good matchup. He somehow beat Volk. I think that I also agree with you just said about Justin Gaethje's probably a tougher matchup for Max. I agree there. I think that obviously UFC math doesn't always math, right? But I'll say that we talked about this months ago. Max Holloway's boxing is superior. Max Holloway is way better at angles. He's way better at feints. He's way better at being at distance to protect himself. Max Holloway has one of the craziest chins we've ever seen in UFC history. Ilya Taporia, I think, is going to have a hard. We saw it with Volk. He had a hard time when in space. He had a hard time finding Volk. Well, Max is going to be even worse. Look, Max is just a very skilled striker, and although Alexander Volkanovski improved on his striking over the years, he's never been the elite striker that Max Holloway is. Like it's just not. It's not the same. Like Volk is a great, well-rounded fighter who's gotten better, but Max Holloway is a born striker, born boxer. He's the best boxer in the UFC for a reason. Ain't that right, Calvin Cater? Um, so I have a hard time seeing how he could get Max. And then when you think about wrestling, most of you guys probably are fans and watched Max Holloway for a long time. You know it's hard to get him to the mat. And if he does, he gets right back up. He's also going to be pretty good at jiu-jitsu. Max is a well-rounded fighter, man. And I just don't know if Ilya Taporia, with his stalker nature, he's going to have to expose himself to get to Max, right? He's going to have to do something out of his norm to allow him to get to Max. And I think that leads to danger for him because Max is such a great striker. I mean, Justin Gaethje got his nose kicked off in the first round by a simple mistake he made. He broke his nose in the first round with a spinning back kick, and he hit him with like 5 times in the fight. I rewatched that fight 2 days ago. He hit him with it multiple times in that fight. Like, if you don't think Max has been watching his film and finding things that he sees he's weak at to throw at him, oh, he has. Max Holloway came out and told us he stopped sparring and started playing video games to learn new moves. He is going to be prepared to hit this man with things he's never seen in that cage.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be a long night for him. I don't think Max knocks him out. I don't. But then again, who knows? I think Max just pieces him up for 5 rounds. I don't think he finishes him unless Ilya gets really sloppy and gets cracked, or he gets exhausted because he ain't been. Once he been in a 5-round fight at the top of a card? Because
No one.
him and Volk ended fast, so he didn't have to get dragged to his championship rounds in front of a crowd just kind of probably booing you because they're gonna be booing him. Like it's going to be a tough fight, man. And Max has been proven to deliver in these fights for years. You know, he's been like a top of the card type guy for a long time, and it's an exciting fight. I'm going to be nervous, but I'm leaning toward the Bless Express, baby. You know, we got to stick to it.
Yeah, 100%. I'm with you. I like everything you said. I absolutely agree with. I just like I. You were making me think of something here that you had mentioned it briefly. Like Max legitimately trained how to throw that spinning back kick because he knew Justin Gaethje dropped his head down.
Yep.
And he would do it either jumping into him or jumping away from him. And that's insane that he drilled that kind of technique. So it's like, what has he got in the playbook? And for all the people that I've been seeing some flack online lately for Max. He's, I'm not going to stand in the middle of the cage and swing and bang with you right at the beginning. He's like, the only reason I did that with Ricardo Lamas was because I was mad at him. I was like, he kept waving his hands at me, doing whatever. And then with Justin Gaethje, he was like, I just want to put on a show. Like, I just want to go. Let's do it. Let's do it.
He said it was respect.
Yeah.
DC's today, he said, I did it because he didn't have to fight me. He's in line for the championship. He defended his BMF to me. He's like, if the tables were turned, I would love for him to give me the opportunity in a fight to try to land something too.
I love that, man.
He's a dog. He's a dog, man.
Yeah.
Ilia's trying to play mind games with Max. Oh,
Yep.
you won't stay in the middle. He's just trying to find ways to like get an advantage because he knows in his core it's gonna be a tough fight, man. It's gonna be a
Yeah.
tough fight for him.
Well, it riles us up as fans. He's trying to get us to watch the pay per view, which we're gonna. We're
Yeah,
locked in. Like this is
yeah,
the weekend to lock in. So
yeah.
I think I think we've nailed it. I don't think we can cover any more bases on Max and Ilya. The only other fight I don't know. Maybe I'll say is that Ilya might go for more of takedowns. Like I could see it, like him kind of throwing the spice in there.
I think
But
he will. He'll have
besides
to.
Jose Aldo, the second highest takedown defense rate, which is ridiculously high, is Max Holloway. People can't take him down, and it's not like Aldo. The only reason Aldo had that was because his low center of gravity. He was a smaller guy for the division. It just makes
Yep.
it a tad bit easier, and plus he's a great defensive grappler. Max is the same way, but he's longer, taller, and he's more efficient. So
He
I,
also
I think,
has Hawaiian strength.
yeah, he's got that Hawaiian strength. That's
It's just
all
it's
he
just
said.
what it just is what it is. Like it
Yeah,
just is what it is, bro.
yeah,
Like different powers going on over there, man.
it's
Shout out to the
different. It's
Hawaiians,
crazy.
bro. Like it's craziness.
Yeah, it is crazy. And speaking of crazy, the co-main event, I'll lose my mind if this actually makes it across the finish line. We've got Robert Whitaker and Khamzat Chimaev. I just want this to fight to make it to where they're actually walking out because we've canceled this twice now. Like
Yeah.
it's starting to feel like the
Yeah, I
yeah
think so.
yeah this is starting to feel like the Tony and Khabib fight that never happened. MMA gods, please spare us from that tragedy. This is a fight we want to see. Um, this has obviously title fight implications with the title kind of being wide open right now at middleweight. Um, five, what's
Five
that?
rounder. It's a
Five
five
round?
rounder.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought it was. But yeah, I was going to ask. Yeah. So 5 round fight. And this is a big deal for a couple of reasons. We know that Kamzat obviously can't fight in the United States right now for visa reasons. So like he's got to make this as big of a deal as he can. I don't know about you, but it's felt like it's been kind of a quiet week with Kamzat, especially with him kind of being out of the limelight. Um, I think that's a good thing for Kamzat. I think that plays into him well. He gets less distracted. But the pressure on him is immense right now. I mean, think about it. He hasn't fought in how long? Like over a year. He hasn't been able to do the things that he wants to do inside the U.S. and get more fights, get more notoriety, build his momentum again. Obviously, with all the illnesses and all the other visa travel issues that have popped up, like that's just things that are happening. But like on the other side, we have Robert Whitaker, a guy who previous to his amazing knockout, he really was. I think we were kind of ready to write him off. Like he was on the downward swing. Like, okay, this might be it for Bobby Knuckles. We really like him. He's a great fighter, great talent. The division's caught up and passed him now with the Izzies, the Shawns, the DDPs. But with taking context with this most recent fight that he had on short notice, completely knocks out the guy. And like what most people would say, hey, Alaskarov like was the guy that was going to be making it up. Like he was going to be the guy that was going to be on the come up. He only lost to Kamzat previously, and Bobby just decided, hey, I found my range and I'm good. I'm not going to say that Robert Whitaker is an immediate lock in for me here because I've just had my heart broken so many times, but I am going with the full vibes pick on this one in terms of like, yep, I'm here for a good time. Let's see it. Let's see the resurgence of Bobby Knuckles. Here's why. I don't think Kamzat's faced a striker like Bobby Knuckles. I don't think. I think that Robert Whitaker's going to have a tough time with the grappling, but I think round 3 hits, range is found for Bobby Knuckles. He's been finding it all night, and he's going to flatline him. I just feel that way. I know Kamzat's a good striker, but Gilbert Burns took him to like a place that he never wanted to go, and I'll be honest with you, I think Bobby Knuckles is going to take him even further than that. I just have this weird feeling about this fight. It's just something that's like it's Alaskarov. Like I wrote, I have it written somewhere down on the internet that I picked him, and I thought that this was the end of Bobby Knuckles. And then he showed me something that he hasn't shown in many fights, was how good his distance management is, and how he can find weak points in striking. So it's going to be a tough night for Bobby Knuckles, but I think he can get it done. So I'll be interested to see what you think because I know we haven't talked about our picks at all for these fights.
Mm-mm.
So
Yeah,
I want to hear what you have to say.
yeah. One thing you didn't mention, which about Kamzat, that I think it's a really important piece here is he hasn't fought a real 185 pounder yet either. So this is even another task in just like the strength. Like
Yeah.
Bobby's going to be one of the probably obviously Kamaru Usman is ridiculously freakish. Like he's
Yeah.
strong,
No, no,
but
no. There's no
he's a
question.
one he's a 170er, and he admitted that he gave him too much respect and came out to that fight too slow. And he probably should have came out a little bit more aggressive against Kamzat. It may have been. I think it would have probably been a different outcome,
Yeah.
or if it was a
I think
five
we got
rounder,
to
right?
win. Yeah.
So I agree. I think Bobby, his last two fights, his last two showings, he's definitely found that dog in himself. And I think that the losses to Izzy really made him a little bit more gun shy and one to actually sit on his punches and try to hurt people.
Hmm.
And it seems like he's gotten to a place where he's like, F that. And he had to
He's
go back
angry.
to it. He's angry. And I think that makes him very dangerous. Before we started recording, y'all, I told Ian I have a vibe pick on this card. This is the vibe pick. This is the vibe pick.
Yes.
It's Bobby Knuckles, bro.
Yes.
It's like I'm fully in. After how hype he was after he finished the guy last fight, bro. Like I'm full in. Kamza, I'm not really a big fan. I think he's super talented, but he's never really been in a fight like this, right? This is like Gilbert Burns is a contender. Bobby Knuckles, I know I give him a lot of ish on this pod, jokingly. He's a former champion. He's battle tested. I would say that besides Kamaru Usman, this is the toughest test that Kamzat's ever had. And because he's actually at the weight that they're actually fighting at, it's probably going to be considered the toughest. And a 5 round fight with Bobby Knuckles, it's going to be tough, man. And I think that I agree. I think Bobby's going to finish him. I think Bobby finds a way to finish him. Kamzat's going to keep shooting. Don't get me wrong, but I think Robert Whitaker is resilient enough to like keep getting up, keep stopping the takedowns, and Kamzat's going to get gassed. And if he thinks he's going to have the exchanges he had with Gilbert Burns with Robert Whitaker, oh buddy, if Robert Whitaker hits you with one of those punches like Gilbert did, you're going to sleep.
Night
You
night.
are going to sleep, buddy. And I think we're going to see what does Paulo Costa call him? Chin Chin. What's he call him? We're going to see him take a nap, and I'm going to love every second of it.
Chin strap.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. It's definitely a vibe pick for me. Obviously, y'all, we
Hmm.
respect Kamzat. We know he's a great wrestler,
Yeah.
and his striking is not bad.
No, no, he's a
But
great striker. Like,
I think the UFC purist in me wants to see him get tested by an elite fighter and him show me that he's greater than I think he is.
mhm.
But I'm rolling with Bobby because we like Bobby Knuckles more than we like Kamzat.
That's absolute vibes. I love it.
That's just
Viewers,
vibes.
we did not talk about this at all. I love that we didn't talk about it at all because sometimes we'll say like, "Hey, this is what we're picking," just to kind of nope. We're going blindly in it. So that's a feels good reaction from me. But last thing I'll say on that point, I feel like I'm getting in my last like little comments in here, but I just I think that people forget that Bobby Knuckles is a great takedown defense like guy. I mean, he took a silver medalist in the two back-to-back fights and didn't let him manhandle him, which he had been doing to everyone previously. Yoel Romero to everyone was the death man in that division, and he's like, nope, I'm going to beat you twice. Now, granted, some people say that the second fight was a robbery. I don't think that was the case. I think it was just an incredible fight, but I think that if you think that Bobby Knuckles is unprepared for this from the wrestling standpoint, I think you're a fool. But I also think that this is a huge, massive fight for Kamzat in the sense of like he gets to show up and prove it. And I think that Islam's had that. He had that with the second Volk fight. He showed up and he proved it. And he showed it up again. Showed it up again, and with the Dustin Poirier fight, like he's won the fans over because he's done what he's done in that division. Kamzat, can you do the same? And I think that's, like we expect a lot out of these Dagestani wrestlers and of these guys who have this culture and heritage there that like will cement their legacy because of how fearsome they are because of Khabib. Kamzat, can you do the same? I think
Yeah,
that's the question that needs to be answered. And I think you nailed it. Like it's a big fat question mark right now. We
yeah,
don't know. We have not seen it. The best guys we've seen him fighting are Kevin Holland, Gilbert Burns, and Kamaru Usman, which great list, but two of those are pretty much no longer relevant.
yeah.
And
No,
the
hundred
other
percent.
one hasn't fought since last time they entered the cage together. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
no,
Not that's not me discrediting Kamaru. That's
No,
that's
I know.
yeah,
I had one more thing to say.
yeah.
What was it? Maybe it'll come back to me. I think I forgot it. I lost it.
You're good.
It was
If it
something.
comes
It was
back to
something
you,
about that. Yeah,
yeah. But speaking of other Russian fighters, we've got for the light heavyweight division a mass. Oh yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
I got it. Sorry, folks. Statman over here. I forgot. Bobby Knuckles takedown defense is 83%,
That's huge.
and like he's fought 34 fights. Like, come on, man.
Yeah,
Come on.
man's got man's got to take down defense for days.
Yeah, he's
So
gonna be ready for that. But yeah,
we'll see. Angry Bobby, let's go. Um, but yeah, light heavyweight division has a fight coming up. Magomed Ankalaev, Alexander Rakic. I think this is a gotcha fight a little bit. I think if Magomed fights unintelligently, he will lose substantially. I don't think, and I'm going to say this as a hot topic, or a hot take, I guess. I don't think Magomed's striking is the same as Yuri's. I think it's a little less. I think his groundwork is obviously a lot better. I don't think Uncle Ive's a bad striker by any means, but I don't think we're seeing sort of the same, not maybe not technicality, but awkwardness. And I think Rakic is going to give him a heck of a time. I don't think this is a fight that Magomed is going to walk out unscathed. I would even say that this, if I'm talking percents of who I'm leaning towards, I'm only giving like Magomed probably a 56% chance to win this fight if I had to. Like, this is very close on paper, in my opinion. I don't know Rakic's takedown defense. I don't know like the stats off the top of my head. I know he's a strong dude. He's fought a lot of great strikers in the division, but I don't think he's been super battle tested in terms of wrestling. But I know the one fight that he did have against Jan Blachowicz, he was beating him before he, you know, destroyed his leg. So
86%.
yeah, yeah. So again, another good percentage there. I just think that this is going to be a tough fight for Magomed Ankalaev. We could see him go out there and obviously do the thing and like show why. But I think in a lot of fans' eyes that are a bit more hardcore, like with both of us, he has to prove himself in this fight to say that he's ready to be taking on Alex Pereira. Otherwise, there's really no like we shouldn't be having this discussion. There should be other conversations about Alex going up to heavyweight or fighting other fighters that are more interesting in that division besides Ankalaev because he so far has not made a name for himself. Shoot, I'd even pick Jan Blachowicz to fight Alex again over Magomed if he doesn't uh, get his crap together. So I'm going with Magomed Ankalaev, but I'm very tentative on this pick. How are you feeling about this? Who are you going with? Who are you rocking with?
I think coming into today, I was leaning one way, and I think I've changed my mind by just thinking about some stuff recently. I came into this tonight thinking I was going to pick Rakic, and
Hmm.
then I remembered his last showing against Yuri Prohaska, and something about that in that cage made me think he quits.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Ankalaev is going to make him quit. I think he finishes him. I think whatever I saw, like obviously, I think Rakic is like popcorn. Like I think at the
Mm-hmm.
very beginning he gets to popping. It may, if he can land some early, the fight could change. Right, he could end it
Yeah.
fast. But like when he's doing Yuri, he was cracking Yuri, and then Yuri was like, "Nah, I'm good. I'm not. I'm actually hurt." And like you could see, like this took everything out of him. And although he has a high takedown defense, I thought it was great. You mentioned that maybe he hasn't fought a lot of high caliber wrestlers. Well,
Mm-hmm.
you're about to. So
Yeah. Welcome.
like this guy's going to try to take you down, but he also likes to strike, and I think Ankalaev also knows he has to have a important like a good win, like kind of the same with the Khamzat Chimaev. He needs a win that's impressive to force the hand of the UFC. Because honestly, Alex Pereira has the pick of the litter because the guy fights whoever whenever they ask him to. I think that if he wanted to bypass him, he could for sure do it because Dana's like, sure, what do you want? You know,
Yeah. Well,
so you have to force their hand on Goliath, and I think that this is going to be the fight for him to do that. I think he gets it done in impressive fashion. Even though I like Rakic, so sorry,
yeah.
Rakic, man, you're my dog still, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a tough fight for you.
It's not going to be fun. The wrestling is going to be there. It's not going to be fun for him, especially if you can
Three
get
round
there.
fight and a
Yeah.
3 round fight. It's over, all right. After 2 rounds, he gets you taken down. It's over, right?
Yeah.
Unless you knock him out.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly. Which I feel like the UFC used to be this kind of like landscape where you still can't predict everything with the UFC, right? I mean, wrestlers do get knocked out, people get beat, but like the UFC's changed from where like, oh yeah, he's winning the first 2 rounds, but really it's anybody's fight. Like we could see a comeback and a crazy thing. No, the skill ceiling is way too high for these fighters. We don't see that as much, even though as one that always wants an exciting fight, I want to see the dog come back and put it on him, and there's always a chance for that to be the case. But yeah, I'm not holding my breath on it, but I think it is a bit closer, at least on paper, um, for these two fighters, and just be really interesting. What's crazy is it's more dependent on Ankalaev than Rakic to make this fight happen and to win. Uh, but I mean, you nailed it. Yeah, I mean, like if he can't make the statement, Alex ain't gonna fight him. Like, there's a reason Khalil got that spot and he didn't. Like, you don't pass over people for that type of reason. So, um,
Yeah.
and it is what it is, though. I mean, I don't know. It would be fun to see a crazy mix-up and Rakic kind of throw his name in there too. At this point, make light heavyweight interesting for some of the other fighters too. I'm all for that, bringing in a more competitive division as well. So, but yeah, I think we've talked about them enough. But let's talk about Lerone Murphy and Dan Ige as the other featherweight fight on the card. I
Easy
mean,
money. Easy
yeah,
money.
I think Lerone Murphy's had harder fights than Dan Ige prior to
Yeah.
it. Like, and
Sorry,
he
Dan.
Yeah, I hate to be disrespectful. I know this is the fight he wanted too, but I'll tell you what, brother. Just because you want it doesn't mean you're gonna like the result. Like, this kid's
Right.
dangerous, man. Like, he is young, he is like on a tear, and yeah, they're the same age, but like both of these guys are like, I see much more excitement, much more complete game than Dan does, and Dan and I think it's gonna go down to a decision. And I think Dan really loves to lose decisions. I don't know if it's just his fight style. I don't know what it is. He can beat all the guys and be kind of a glorified gatekeeper. But Lerone Murphy's already beaten Edson Barboza. Like, that was the gatekeeper of the featherweight division. The hockey stick is up for him in terms of performance. His striking is incredible. I think he'll be able to handle any sort of like odd mix-ups from Dan and really put it to him. But yeah, I don't. This feels like a black and white pick to me, which always kind of scares me whenever I put you know put these picks out on to the internet. But I don't know. I'm also big on the hype train of Lerone Murphy too,
Yeah.
so I'm very, very, very biased.
No, I was going to say. I mean, I can echo everything you're just saying. Definitely on the hype train over here. I think Dan Ige is a serviceable fighter in that division, and I enjoy his fights. But I do agree. Like he tends to lose decisions. Like he doesn't tend to do enough to get the favor of the judges. And with Lerone Murphy just being like a budding star on the rise in this division, I feel like he's just gonna be too much,
Yeah,
and just has too much energy, and I can see him pulling it off. I don't know if it'll be. I don't think it'll be a finish, but who knows? I think LeBron Murphy has like first round finishes. Maybe
yeah,
tonight will be one. I'm hoping. I
hmm
like the card to breeze by, so give me one
yeah,
of those early on the card, right?
yeah,
But yeah, Dan, get well soon, man. I'd be surprised to get this dub, bro.
yeah. If he does, great. You shocked a lot of people, but I think it's a pretty obvious cut and dry pick here. In terms of just like skills matchup, in terms of just kind of the excitement, but I guess X factor to get it done. I mean, there's a degree of explosiveness that Lerone Murphy has that I think that not a lot of people can replicate, and he's a fun new face in the featherweight division too. I mean, I wish
Yeah,
he would have started a little bit sooner in the UFC, but still young, still has a lot of chance, and I would even say
undefeated.
that would be, yeah, undefeated, and would be an interesting fight to even pair up. I would argue for good old Diego Lopez if
Mm.
he's open for it. So I don't know. I'll see how much work he makes of Danny Ige, because if the result's a little different than Diego's fight, then well, might be something more to talk about there. But
Yeah.
last fight on the main card, we've got Shara Magomedov versus Armin Petrosian. I I've watched a few of Armin Petrosian's fight. I think he's fun to watch, but I mean, I like both of these guys are just gonna like this fight was solely. Here's what I'll say: this fight was solely set up to set up the bullet. Like he's just there for the hype train.
Yep.
Shara's cool. He's exciting. He's got the crazy photos and like the crazy finishes and the one eye and all that stuff. It makes him terrifying. I'll say this: I don't really care. He's once he finds a grappler, and if Armin Petrosian can take him down for some reason, then yeah, then it's curtains,
It's
my
over.
friend.
Then it's
Yeah,
over.
yeah. But they're getting the money machine out of him right now, and I think that that's just another step in that direction. I hope it's fun. I hope it's not just some like, hey, Petrosian decided to do middle school grappling and took him down and beat him up, because that's the kind of level we're dealing with here. Again, I don't. Sure, I'm not trying to be super disrespectful, but you do come from Russia, so maybe learn how to wrestle. I don't know. Like, it's crazy to me that that's his only thing is to hit people hard, and
I
that's it.
like it. He throw hands. He get out the mud. He ain't got time for that wrestling stuff.
Well, I'm picking him, but it's not like I like it.
He want to throw the bones. He want to throw
Yeah,
bones. He don't want to. He ain't got time for that crotch
yeah,
sniffing. He trying to throw hands. I respect it.
I do
You know what I'm
too.
saying? Break the mold because they like to do that over there. So you break the mold and throw hands. I like it. I like that he want to throw hands. I'm going the same way. Armin Petrosian, whatever your name is, bro. Listen, if I ever bet money, I wouldn't bet on you. I'm good. I don't think you're going to get it done. And I'm on the bullet. I'm here for the hype train, bro. But
Yeah,
I agree. Once he sees a legit wrestler, it's going to be problems. But
yeah,
until then, let's enjoy the striking and the fun that he brings.
yeah.
Also, UFC, maybe cut this part out. Y'all should probably get sued having a guy with one eye in there. Like, what are we doing?
I know.
Like how are we? How's that legal to let this dude go fight? Well, he it's like could hurt him bad. He has one eye. Like
Yeah,
maybe we
I
should
mean,
stop letting that guy one eye fight in the scariest like fighting league in the world. Okay, you can't give him a top 10 guy and like
no,
yeah, go out
he's
there
not going to
one
see the
eye.
punches.
What if they
Just
close the What if they close the good eye? Then
yeah.
what?
Then I guess he's done. Yeah,
It's
like
crazy.
I don't know, man. Whatever. I do think I'll say this before we close out. The fight that should have been on the main card, as opposed to Shara and Armin Petrosian, was Jeff Neal and RDA. I don't know how that's not on the main card because it's an amazing fight, and it's not even on the top of the uh,
It's not.
prelims, which is
No.
crazy. I just don't understand that. So, wishing we could see that. It would be nice to see Jeff Neal get back in the W column because it doesn't feel like RDA's really caring that much about anything anymore in terms of winning. He just wants to make that paycheck. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Anyways, viewers, if you made it to the end of the podcast, thank you so much for watching. Please let us know what you picked down in the comments. We'd love to hear from you guys. As always, we'll try to read out if you guys leave us any interaction. So thank you guys for tuning in. Subscribe and like if you haven't already. Yeah, what's up, Tyro?
I
You
was
gonna
gonna
say?
say, yeah, and guys, obviously it's the end of the pod, so we still here. Thank you. But if you guys like us to start dropping like maybe screenshots of our picks from the card too, or something like that, let us know in the comments,
Mm-hmm.
and we can start
Yeah,
doing that too, putting them on
yeah,
reels or shorts or something.
yeah,
Just having our picks put up again.
yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll catch you next week on our reaction. Peace.
Peace.